لله الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور انفسنا ومن سيئات اعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد ان لا اله الا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد ان محمدا عبده ورسوله صلوات ربه وسلامه عليه وعلى اله واصحابه ومن دعا بدعوته الى يوم الدين. اما بعد, brothers and sisters in Islam, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We praise and thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala who has given us another opportunity in this month of Ramadan to get close to Him and to seek His forgiveness and for Him to grant us forgiveness, inshallah. We ask Allah to bless this gathering. It's a blessed gathering in a blessed month in a blessed place. SubhanAllah. So we come in a better place in this place this morning. SubhanAllah. And of course the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, "Man salaka tariqan yaltamisu fihi ilma, sahala Allahu lahu tariqan ila al-jannah." A person who finds himself a way to a place of knowledge to learn the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, sahala Allahu lahu tariqan ila al-jannah. Allah makes it easy for him the way to the Jannah. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us of the people of Jannah, inshallah. And those who came before us. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant that the knowledge that I gain here and the knowledge that you gain here will be beneficial knowledge. Knowledge that will bring us closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I said in my Jum'ah lecture, the lecture that I gave the last time, that this time that we have together will be divided into two parts. The first part, I will deal with the history of the Sahaba alayhim as-salatu was-salam. And the latter part of the lecture will deal with a response to the Quran for those people who say that the Quran is that which we should only depend on, and they reject the ahadith of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I ask Allah in this month to guide them and to bring them back to the truth, because without that there is no shafa'ah for them. There is no salvation for them in the akhirah. And we'll come to know that this is not in the hadith that this is said, this is in the Quran. Those who do not obey Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, there is no salvation for them in the akhirah. Today, inshallah, we're going to start with the history of Bakr Al Siddiq. Now, the reason I've combined these two lectures is because it is universally known amongst Muslims that the greatest people who ever walked on this earth were the Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. And after them, the Sahaba of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the best of all of them was Abu Bakr Al Siddiq radiallahu anhu. So after the Anbiya, the best man to have walked on the earth was Abu Bakr Al Siddiq radiallahu anhu. So it is important for us to know who is this man. This man also narrated hadith from the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Who is this man, this great man, Abu Bakr, this thin, tall, scrawny man that nobody would have given a tuppence to? In terms of build, he wasn't a very big man like Umar ibn Khattab. He was just a simple, straightforward man. But he doesn't stand out as much as Umar ibn Khattab. Most people know Umar better than they know Abu Bakr, because of the strength of character of Umar, as we see, and because of the fact that he was the one who took Islam to the borders of China and to the Atlantic Ocean and into India and all over in Persia and in Russia and so on and so on. So in his 10 years of tenure as Amir al-Mu'mineen, he expanded the empire of Islam to its greatest extent ever. And he is known, of course, as Al-Faruq, Umar Al-Faruq. Faruq means the one who distinguished between truth and falsehood. For him, there was no gray areas in between, like it should be for every Muslim. We don't have gray areas in our religion. There's the truth and there's not the truth. And there's nothing in between. So not a lot of studying had gone into Siddiq, as he's known. One of his names is Siddiq. And when it came to my grandchildren, always they're very noisy, like their grandfather. They always say something. I hope it's not you. Who's making this noise? So, the personality of Abu Bakr is a unique personality. It's an amazingly unique personality. SubhanAllah. Because a man, the more you know about him, the more you'll fall in love with him. And he was known to be a man of good deeds. That is how he was known amongst the companions. A man of good deeds. And he was always on top. Whenever there was a race in any good deed, he won the race. With no sweat, do whatever he has to do, but he was always on top. Ali ibn Abi Talib referred to Abu Bakr as As-Sabiq, who was Sabiq. The one who was always in front. The one who always led in good deeds. Not in money, not in power, not in name, not in fame, no, in good deeds. In fact, one day, we know the story of the Nabi Sallallahu used to sit with the Sahaba after Fajr, every morning in the masjid, to sit with them, to talk to them about many issues. So one day, the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, and some said that this was at another time, but many said it was after Fajr one morning. Nabi Sallallahu asked the Sahaba, who of you are fasting today? This is after Fajr. So nobody put up their hand except Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr's hand went up and said, Ya Rasulullah, I am fasting. So the Nabi Sallallahu said, and who had given charity today? So Umar ibn Khattab said, but Ya Rasulullah, the day still, the day hasn't even started yet. It's an unfair question. So Abu Bakr again put up his hand. SubhanAllah. And he said, Ya Rasulullah, my grandson is with me, Abdurrahman, and before we left home, he asked for some bread. And I gave him a piece of bread, and as we walked into the masjid, we passed by a poor man, a beggar, and I told Abdurrahman to give him a piece of bread. SubhanAllah. So Umar, of course, he was thinking, yeah, this man, SubhanAllah, he's there, whenever good had to be done, he was in front. And then finally the Nabi Sallallahu said, and who of you visited a sick person today? So Umar said, Ya Rasulullah, everybody's sleeping, how could we visit people on our way to so Abu Bakr put up his hand. He said, Ya Rasulullah, I heard Abdurrahman ibn Auf, I heard he was ill last night. This morning on the way to the masjid, I popped in and I visited him this morning. SubhanAllah. So the Nabi Sallallahu said, a person who will have those qualities is a person of Jannah. Person of those qualities. That kind of concern for the poor, concern for the ill, concern for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, competition for Abu Bakr Al Siddiq in doing good was a natural way. In fact, it was the natural way of the Sahaba. Sari'u. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Sari'u. Be hasty in doing good. So they followed not the instincts, nor did they want to impress each other. They followed the instructions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that was their most outstanding quality. They were in the race of goodness. And as I said in the Jum'ah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykum as-siyam kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. That fasting has been prescribed for you as it has been prescribed to those before you, so that you may develop taqwa. So you may become conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that you may become a good person, a good human being. Taqwa means to be a good human being. In a sense of being a good human being to humanity and being a good servant to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I said, if the objective of fasting is to gain taqwa, then taqwa is for everybody. Because only the muttaqeen will enter Jannah. So everybody, taqwa is for everybody. It's not just for the ulama or for the saints or for whoever they may know. Taqwa is for everybody. And everybody in Ramadan and his life is in the race of taqwa. Why are we in the race for taqwa? Because there's no other race. There's no other race. There's no other competition except the competition to endow ourselves with knowledge, true knowledge. One of the signs of Qiyam, of course, is that people will learn from those who know less than what they learn. Signs of Qiyam. That people will learn from people who are less knowledgeable than they are. This is the time we live in now. People will seek out people that they can overcome with their little bit of knowledge. They will not seek somebody who knows more than them because they also feel they also have something. And they need to impress, they teach. But at the time of the Nabi ﷺ, their point of departure was to get the best from the best. The best was Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that is why the Nabi ﷺ talking about goodness and talking about the race for taqwa. The Nabi ﷺ said, نفذ في روعي أن النفس لا تموت نفس حتى تستكمل رزقها أجمل في الطلب. Nabi ﷺ says, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has inspired me and said to me that no person shall die unless and until that person has consumed all the rizq that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordained for that person. And until that person has lived his whole life as Allah has ordained for him. So you won't die before your time, and you will not die before you've eaten that last samosa. So don't rush to eat it. You will have it. If it is part of the menu which has been written for you by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will get it. Don't worry about it. And that's what the Nabi ended the hadith and he says, وَأَجْبِلُوا فِي الطَّلَبِ. So when you seek the rizq of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, seek it in a beautiful way. Seek it in a beautiful way. Why? Because it's there already. It's there already. So what the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, don't look for a haram way to get it, because if you're going to become a billionaire, you're going to be a billionaire. If that's written for you, you're going to get it. So don't seek it in a haram manner. Subhanallah. And that was the Sahaba alayhi as-salatu was-salam. So as easy as it is to get taqwa, and this ummah has been given the easiest task in gaining Jannah. Because we've been given the best prophet, the best book, the shortest lives. We're going to live to live. We don't have to work and make salah for 1,000 years and Nabi Nuh alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu has given us one night. Just one. Laylatul Qadr. Equal to what? 83, 84 years of ibadah. SubhanAllah. And the Nabi Sallallahu was always concerned about our welfare, our salvation. That was his primary purpose. Rahmatan lil alameen. Allah sent him as a mercy for the whole of humanity, and who is the best of all humanity? Kuntum khayra ummatin ukhrijat lin-nas. You are the best of people, Allah said. So it is very important for us to also know that in Sahih Muslim there's a hadith where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say to Nabi Adam alayhi salam on the day of judgment, O Adam, choose all the people who will go to Jannah. I mean, take them out. They've already been doing, but take them out. And Nabi Sallallahu says, Adam will choose one of every 1,000 people. Of course, since the time of Adam, billions of people. But it also shows that Jannah is just not for the taking. Yes, it's there, it's available, but we have to work for it. We have to be committed to it. We can't run around the dunya thinking, doing this and rejecting that and rejecting a hadith. We can't just do that and think, well, I'm the guy. But akhirah, there's no salvation for you. So, to be the kind of man that Abu Bakr was, also he will enter Jannah secondly. Prophet will enter first, he will enter. Number two. And to be the kind of man that Abu Bakr had to be, he had to have certain strengths. You know, if you want to make $1 million, you must have some money. You must have some strength. If you want to do your master's degree, you must have a BA degree. If you want to do your doctorate, you have to have a master's. So you have to have some strength. If you want to criticize the subject, you have to have knowledge of the subject. At least understand the language of the subject, nothing else. And as I said earlier, Abu Bakr was described as a very lean, hungry-looking man. But Ibn Abbas, Abdullah ibn Abbas, the cousin of the Nabi Sallallahu described him and said that he was kana khayran kulla, that he was all of goodness. All of goodness was contained in one man. All of goodness was contained in one man. He was sociable, he was compassionate, unlike Umar ibn al-Khattab. And all the time when the Sahaba used to refer to Abu Bakr, they used to refer to Umar. As if Umar and Abu Bakr were the two wings of Islam at the time. That the bird would not fly without the wing of Umar and the wing of Abu Bakr. And they were always seen together. Whenever you saw Umar, you saw Abu Bakr. And whenever you saw Umar and Abu Bakr, you saw Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were the trust that they were always with them. Out of love for the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we know, of course, that Umar was such a great personality, he was such a good man. Such a man of truth and decisiveness, that when Shaitan saw him, on any day that Shaitan saw him, that was a bad day for Shaitan. You know, people have bad hair days. And for Shaitan, the day that he sees as an Umar ibn Khattab, oh, my whole day is spoiled. And so the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to tell Umar ibn Khattab, oh Umar, because probably could see, says to Umar, oh Umar, when the Shaitan sees you, he makes a detour. When he sees you coming down the street this way, he will go around that way. At least he doesn't have the problems that we have. Shaitan sees that he says, Subhanallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us from it. Uthman, on the other hand, he was a very shy man. Now can you imagine these people? These were students of the same master, Muhammad. They sat in the same university, in the same class. Yet the development of them was totally different. In fact, the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, speaking about Uthman, said, even the angels were shy of Uthman. Even the angels, when they came, when Uthman was in the company, the angels looked down when Uthman was in the company. Can you imagine this? And who did they have in front of them? Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Who made them that way? Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They say Uthman radiallahu ta'ala in his awla never looked at his awla. So shy. So amazing. Ali was the warrior. Ali was the strong man, the warrior. And just to go through a few of them, Aisha, of the women, of course, she was the inquisitive one. She was young, inquisitive, asked all the kind of questions, wanted to know the answer. And Abu Dhar, another man, on the other side again, he was a loner. He came to Islam alone, he lived alone, and he died alone. He came from the type called Ghifar, his name was Ghifari. Abu Dhar al-Ghifari. In Ghifari, they weren't traders, they weren't business people. The whole tribe, they only did one thing to earn a living. They raided caravans. Like today we say they rob banks, they're bank robbers. In those days they used to wait for the caravans to come past their village or wherever they used to wait for them, highway robbers, and they used to rob the caravans. And he was part. And when he became Muslim, he left them and they living in the desert alone. And the Nabi knew he's a Sahaba. And the Nabi Sallallahu used to tell him, that, oh Abu Dhar, you should never take responsibility for anything. You should never become a leader, or imam. And you should never deal with the financial affairs of the orphan. He wasn't good at finance. So Nabi Sallallahu knew all of them. Abdurrahman ibn Auf, the man I spoke about it, that Abu Bakr visited the morning before he came to the masjid, he was a millionaire, maybe a multi-millionaire, Abdurrahman ibn Auf. And yet, when he made hijrah, spiritually good people. Or they were just not people who made salah the whole day. No. Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, when he made hijrah from Makkah to Medina, when he came to Medina, he had zero in his pocket. Pocket was empty. And we know that Nabi Sallallahu had decided that what he would do is, with the immigrants, he would partner them with an Ansari, with a man from Medina. And he partnered Abdul Rahman ibn Auf with one of the Medina Muslims, with Sa'ad ibn Ubadah. Sa'ad ibn Ubadah. And when he came to Sa'ad ibn Ubadah, Sa'ad ibn Ubadah said to him, Abdul Rahman, what would you want? I will give half my money to you. And I have two wives. I will divorce one, and you can marry that one. And you can choose which one you want. And which of the favors of your Lord will you deny? Maybe it was just an opportunity for you to do. So he said, thank you very much, shukran, jazakallah khair. All I want you to do is, he said to him, all I want you to do is to show me the way to the marketplace. Show me the way to the marketplace. And he became an extremely rich man. In fact, one day the Nabi Sallallahu met Abdul Rahman ibn Auf. Not very short after that, Prophet met him in the marketplace, and he had some yellow dye on his face, some yellow powder on his face. And this yellow powder that he had on his face was the yellow powder that was used by the women of Jahiliyyah who recently got married. So in the time in Makkah, when the women got married recently, they would wear yellow powder on their face. So the Prophet said to him, oh, Rahman, what is this? You got the yellow powder in your face? He said, Ya Rasulullah, I just got married. So the yellow powder came from the wife onto his face. So the Prophet said, so, you have money to get married? You just came. The Prophet said to him, did you give it down? He said, yes. The Prophet said, what did you give? He said, I gave her gold. The Prophet said, oh, really, you make gold? He said, yes, alhamdulillah. SubhanAllah. And when he died, he was such a rich man when he died. One would think, the Sahaba were poor people, had half a camel, half a donkey, one day. There were the rich and there was the poor, there was all kinds. So when he died, he left millions of gold. And one of the things he wrote in his wasiyah was that a certain amount of his money should be divided amongst all the people who participated in the Battle of Badr. Uthman at the time, Uthman of course participated in the Battle of Badr. And Uthman at the time was Amir al-Mu'mineen. He was the president of the country. So they went to Uthman and they said, oh Uthman, he left for you also a portion. Will you take it? Uthman said, of course I will take it. But Uthman was also a very rich man. Uthman financed one of the battles of the Prophet out of his pocket. Prophet said, I want to send an army. He said, yes, all the money. Buy all the camels, everything, all the swords. So there's Uthman. So Uthman said, no, I want my portion if you gave it to me. So they asked, why? You don't need it. He said, because Abdul Rahman's money is all halal. Every cent that he made was halal. And I want to have that barakah of that halal money in my possession. This was the beautiful people that we talk about when we talk about the Sahaba of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So I've sketched you very briefly the bibliographies or the personalities of some of the companions of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And I think, as I said last night, or maybe sometime I said this, it's important for us each one to find a role model amongst them for us. So if you're doing something, for example, an easy one is if you're a businessman, then find a Sahabi who was a businessman, like Abdul Rahman ibn Auf, or Abu Bakr Al Siddiq, or Uthman ibn Affan, and study their life history. Because business is a cycle. It's making money, it's what it's about. And it's happening like that all the time. But the ethics of it, the manner of doing it to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's what we need to learn. And that's what we need to transfer to others. So if you're a scholar, take Mu'adh ibn Jabal, he was a scholar. Study his life history. Khalid ibn Walid was a warrior who participated in jihad. And there was also the Ummahat al-Mu'mineen. Khadija radiallahu anha. What was her strength? Her strength was that she provided emotional support to the Nabi alayhi salatu. Aisha was the one who delved into the mind of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, took out all the jewels and the diamonds from his mind, all the greatness she brought out of it. And she was the one who transferred all that knowledge. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, 2/3 of the knowledge will get from Aisha after my death. Now, if we look at our lives on a daily basis, not lots of things happen in your life on a daily basis, but some things happen. There are things that happen to each and every person, which is called mawaqif, or moments in time. You have a moment in your life, and especially when you're older, you reflect and you think about the decisions you had made, and you say to yourself, if I hadn't made that decision, I wouldn't have what I have to do and be where I have to be. Or if I made a different decision, maybe my life would have been different. It's called mawaqif. It's called moments in life, important moments, milestones, I would say, in every person's life. And that is why an alim said to me, I traveled, I think it was in Sierra Leone in West Africa. When an alim, I said to him, I was young, I was very, very young. And he was discussing the question of youth and wisdom. He was talking to us about young people and wisdom. And he says many a times, these two doesn't go together. So, well, you have to be great you want. I meet very young people wiser than me, and I meet people who are older than me and greater than me, and I say, yes, that's it. So it's not about, it's about the learning you got. It's about the education you got. It's about the people you spoke to. And another significant statement, he spoke in Arabic, the most significant statement he made on that day, I remember it. He said, قد يكون الحكمة كلمة العام وقد يكون الحكمة كلمة العام. Can you remember that? He said, it can be that the whole of wisdom is contained in the word yes. And he said it can be that the whole of wisdom can be contained in the word no. So he said, from a young age, young people should be taught when to say yes and when to say no. He says, if we can teach our children when to say yes, and if we can teach our children when to say no, then we implant the tree of wisdom in them from a very, very young age. And that's very, very important. Not to say to the child, you must decide. You know today what we say to the children? You must decide for yourself. You must tell the child, these are the circumstances. My girl, that you say no. My boy, these are the things that when it comes to you say no. Don't ask me, I've already told you. It's no. And that is no, and for this you say yes, and for that you say yes. So in mawaqif also, in the stations that we reach in life, in the milestones that we reach, if we have to make a decision, we need to decide and don't vacillate. Don't be what the Quran calls mudabdabina bayna dhalik. Mudabdabin, meaning can't say yes and you can't say no. You know, I've never met a generation of Muslims that has made so much. What is the salah you make? You can't decide. You know, when I was a child, people didn't know about Islam. When I was in my father's house, my father was an alim. I don't think I heard him once say I'm going to make istikhara. Oh my God. But today I hear from every second person who comes to me, tells me, before I'm a Sheikh, I'm going to make istikhara. I never get the result, I never get the answer. It's like shifting the problem, Allah must sort it out. I can't decide on what I want to do, leave it all, He must sort it out. And what if you don't get the dream? What if Allah doesn't communicate with you? What do you do then? You have to have the tools which Islam gives you. And those tools are to be transferred to your children. to when to say yes and when to say no. So as I said, life is uneventful, but things happen. And I mean, you could sit there and you probably can think of the things that has happened in your life. You know. The day that you said yes to the man to get married, and the day you proposed to your wife, you know, you think back, you think, was it a good day, was it a good decision, you know, etc., etc. And so forth and so on. Business decisions that you make, you know, was it a good decision, was it a bad decision? You go to study, you know, you decide on a course of study, you think to yourself, was it a good decision, was it a bad decision? So at the point of making the decision, you have to employ everything in order to make that decision. These are critical moments in life. Because the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that a man may say one word only and you'll go to Jannah. A man will say one word only and you'll go to Jannah. Maybe it's yes, maybe it's no. One word. And a man may say one word and you will go to Jahannam for 70 years because he had said one single word. I remember many years ago, maybe about 40 years ago, well, at least 40, more than 40 years ago, we started the South African National Zakafah. And surprisingly at the time, you know, 40 years ago, for those of you of my age, Muslims didn't speak about zakah. I know many people used to give bread on the 10th of Muharram to the poor, and they said that's my zakah. Or they used to make little parcels with dates and sweets and put a 5 cents, 5 cents, a lot of money, the 5 cents in, they would dish it out and say, that's zakah. Building is zakah, building is. So I met a man, a rich man. And you know, I was fervent, I was young, I was full of just everywhere I went, I used to communicate with people and speak to them about giving zakah and giving zakah. And I said to this man, you know, mashallah, Allah has blessed you, you should give zakah. And he said to me, I'll never forget what he said to me. He said to me, why must I pay zakah? I've never paid zakah. I said, what's the fight, you know? He said, no, but I pay tax to the government. I mean, why must I? Allah doesn't double tax you. I pay tax to the government. Why must I also pay tax? I'll never get those words. And I think, and many years after that, he was of the same opinion until the day that he died. When he died, a very rich man. I was thinking that one word, subhanAllah, because rather if you get quiet and say, yeah, I pay my zakah. No, you see, pay zakah all those things. So it's very, very important what we say and what we do in life. Abu Bakr Al Siddiq, there are 5 mawaqif or moments in his life that is very important for him, that stands out as life-changing moments for Abu Bakr Al Siddiq. The first was when he became Muslim. The first was Abu Bakr's Islam. There is a saying in Arabic which says, لِكُلِّ حِصَانٍ كَبْوَةٍ لِكُلِّ حِصَانٍ كَبْوَةٍ. For every dog, for every horse, there is a stumble. Every horse, sometime in his life, he will stumble. Like with every person. How good, how straight, but he will stumble. And I remember the hadith immediately when I think about the stumble. The Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, تجاوزوا عن ذنب السخي فإن الله يأخذ بيدي إذا أثر. What a beautiful. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, overlook the bad points and the sins of the generous man. Listen to this hadith. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam says, overlook the stumblings of the generous man. For when he stumbles, Allah takes his hand. Because as I said last night, I said, the greatest quality of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is his generosity. There's no more person, there's no more entity more generous than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I gave an example last night, which is a long example, so I'm not going to repeat. So generosity then is one of the sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when Abu Bakr became Muslim, he was the only man described as not having stumbled in his life. And he was the only man of all the people who accepted Islam, who accepted Islam without saying a word to the Nabi. So the Prophet said to him, I am the Prophet of Allah, and Allah sent me. He said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. All the others, including the great Ali, Sayyidina Ali was a young man of 13 years old. The Prophet said to him, he lived in the Prophet's house when the wahi came in. And he was the first man, meaning male, that the Prophet approached. The Prophet said, oh Ali, will you accept Islam? What do you think he said? Like all 13-year-olds. He said, Da'ani mufakkir. He said, leave me alone to think about it. Subhanallah. But Abu Bakr, immediately, he said, accept Islam. Ala ayna wa ras. No problem, I accepted immediately. Of course, he had a long relationship with the Nabi. So that was his defining moment. That was his defining moment. And that is why he's called, one of the names, of course Abu Bakr is not his name. But we'll come to that later on, inshallah. Anybody know what Abu Bakr's name was? His real name? Abdullah. Abdullah was his real name. Abu Bakr means father of, Bakr is a young, very lively camel. So Prophet gave it to Abu Bakr because Prophet saw him like that, young and lively. And many people had what we call names which is given to them by the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So that was his first moment, defining moment. Accepted. He was a man of acceptance. That is why he's known as Siddiq. He's known as Siddiq. What is Siddiq? Abu Bakr Al Siddiq. His most famous name is called Abu Bakr Al Siddiq. Al Siddiq because he was the one who confirmed and affirmed and accepted the truth immediately when he heard it. Because that's one of it. That's one of the signs of a believer. And when he hears the truth, he submits to the truth. So the man came to the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and said, Ya Rasulullah, I love to wear nice clothes and ride a nice camel and live in a nice house. Is there anything wrong with that, Ya Rasulullah? Why did he ask this question? Because the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said that a man with an atom worth grain of kibr in his heart will not enter paradise. If you have in your heart any kibr, not in paradise. So he said, Ya Rasulullah, I like to wear nice clothes. And I like to live in a nice house and drive a nice car. Is there anything wrong with that? Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, no, what is kibr? What is kibr? RamTazz nas what? You know that what we know. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said there are two things which is kibr. Bakr Al Siddiq. The two sides of kibr in a man is when he hears the truth, he doesn't want to take it. That's it. I know what it is. That's the truth of it. Al and he looks down upon other people. That's a sign of kibr. Look at people and say, and he makes it. Or he says, yeah, it's the truth, but you know, I have my own truth. I have my own way of doing it. This is today. This is the world we live in today. John, when the truth, he said, you know what, I look at it from this angle. My interpretation is this. My interpretation is that. But the truth is right in front of you. The truth is right there. The second one, the second moment in Abu Bakr's life, the second motive in his life, is after the Isra and Mi'raj of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You know the story very well. Then Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam went on the Mi'raj and came back. And he told the people of Makkah immediately that, last night I went to Jerusalem. And Abu Jahl laughed, and Abu Jahl thought that Quraysh was very happy when he said this. Because the Quraysh thought, this is the end of Islam, end of Muhammad. Nobody's going to believe him. He was in Jerusalem last night, one night in Jerusalem and back, impossible. So Abu Bakr didn't hear this. So one of the Quraysh came to Abu Bakr and said, "Oh, Abu Bakr, you know what your friend said? You know what your friend is saying? Your friend is saying that he was in Jerusalem last night. What do you think?" So Abu Bakr looked at him and said, very famous words, Abu Bakr said, "In kana qalaha faqad sadaq." Because now, Abu Bakr had to consider what he was going to reply, because this man is an enemy. So how can you take the word of an enemy? Maybe the Prophet didn't say that. But what did he say? He says, "In qala." If he said that, it's the truth. If he said that, it's the truth. Now this is the motto also of the scholars of hadith. If the hadith is authentic, it's the truth. The hadith has been confirmed to be a sahih hadith, never mind the content. The hadith is accepted as the truth. And this was Abu Bakr. If it is what he said, Barakallahu fiqh, I accept. That is why it was called Siddiq. And number 3, at the death of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It was a moment. It was a moment when Medina was in the greatest upheaval ever. Uthman ibn Affan, when he heard of the death of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he locked himself up in his house. Because there was chaos in the streets of Medina. People were sitting in the masjid crying, Sahaba. All of them were crying. Umar ibn Khattab took out his sword and he said, Nabi's not dead, he's just gone away for 40 days. He's gone away for 40 days to speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he will come back. Don't say he died. And Abu Bakr came, as usual, his composed self, he went inside the room of Aisha and he lifted the veil of the Prophet's face and he kissed the Nabi sallallahu on his forehead, and he closed and he came back into the masjid and he got on the minbar. And people were crying, people were sobbing, and he said, "Man kana ya'budu Muhammadan fa inna Muhammadan qad mat, wa man ya'budu Allah fa inna Allah hayyun la yamut." He said, those who worship Muhammad, Muhammad has died. And those who worship Allah, Allah is alive and will never die. Look at the wisdom of this man. So he calmed the whole situation now. Everybody was calm. Because it was in line with what they believe. That Allah is Hayyun La Yamut. Not Khayrun La Yamut, as we say in we bring the pujas after in the Tarawih Salah. You say Khayrul Ladhi La Yanam wa La Yamut. Khayrul Ladhi La Yanam. Khayrun means good. We say Allah is good. Instead of saying Allah is alive and will never die, we say Allah is good and will never die. You say Hayyul Ladhi La Yanam. Hayyul. Hayy, not Khayr. Hayy. Hayy means alive. So that was the death of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. For me, another moment for you, which I haven't written down, which just comes to mind, is the moment in the cave. I mean, one of his names is Sahib. One of the names of Bakr Al Siddiq is Sahib. Sahib means companion. And this name was given to him by who? Who gave him this name? Allah subhanahu. Allah gave him a name. How can you deny the truthfulness of Abu Bakr Al Siddiq? Allah gave him. إِذْ قَالَ لِصَاحِبِهِ, Allah said in the Quran, when they were in the cave, إِذْ قَالَ لِصَاحِبِهِ, when he said to his sahib, when the Prophet ﷺ said to his sahib, who was the sahib in the cave? Abu Bakr. What did he say to him? لَا تَحْزَنْ إِنَّ اللَّهِ. When Abu Bakr said, Ya Rasulullah, if they look down, we were standing outside, if the Quraysh looks down, they will see our feet. He was afraid. And then Allah revealed the verse. When the Prophet said, when he said to his friend, to his companion, La tahzan, don't be afraid. Inna Allah ma'ana. Allah is with us. So to who did Allah respond? To Abu Bakr As-Siddiq. Allah responded from the 7 heavens. Allah responded to him. Tell your friend to Allah. I'm with you. No problem. فَأَنْزَلَ اللَّهُ سَكِينَةُ عَلَيْهِ. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said His tranquility upon him. So that was Abu Bakr. That was another moment, a great moment for Abu Bakr. Because the Prophet asked him, oh Abu Bakr, why are you so concerned? Are you worried about death? Why? You're not a man who fears death. Why are you worried now that you think these people are going to kill us? Why? He said, Ya Rasulullah. He said, Ya Rasulullah, إِن قُتِلْتُ أَنَا فَإِنَّمَا أَنَا رَجُلٌ واحد. وَإِن قُتِلْتَ أَنْتَ أَنَا كَثِيرٌ. He said, Ya Rasulullah, if they kill me, they kill one man. But if they kill you, they kill the whole ummah. Animation. And everything dies. So what was his concern? Not that he was going to die. His concern was for Muhammad and for the mission. So that was the moment in Islam. The fourth moment in the life of Abu Bakr Al Siddiq radiallahu anhu was, and he was very, despite the fact he was compassionate, merciful, soft-spoken, he was an extremely decisive leader. Very decisive. We hear, for example, that before the Prophet ﷺ passed away, he designated an army to go and face the Romans for the first time. This was the first army that the Nabi ﷺ had sent to confront the Romans. And at the head of the army, he put a man by the name of Zayd ibn Haritha. Who was Zayd ibn Haritha? He was the adopted son of the Nabi ﷺ, but he was also who? He was also an ex-slave. He was an ex-slave. He was a slave. And the Nabi ﷺ appointed Zayd ibn Haritha as the head of this army to confront the Romans. What else does it tell us about the Nabi ﷺ? Nabi didn't favor anybody. Nabi didn't think, well, this is my adopted son, he lived in my house for 10 years. Maybe he's going to die in this battle. I'm going to send somebody else. Nabi ﷺ chose this man for the job. And in this army, all the notables, all the nobility of the Sahaba was part of this army. So this is army under Zayd ibn Haritha. And this was the first confrontation with the Romans. Nabi ﷺ said, oh Zayd, said to the army, this was the instructions of the Nabi before he died. He said, oh, if you die, Zayd, in battle, then you give the flag to Ja'far. Who was Ja'far? His cousin. His father's brother's son. Abdullah's brother's son, Abu Talib. And he said to Ja'far, and he said to the army, if Ja'far goes, then Abdullah ibn Rawaha should take the flag. When they met the army, the Muslims were 2,000 and the Romans were 200,000. 200,000. Because Nabi didn't know the numbers. Some say 400,000. That's overwhelming odds against the Sahaba. For one, the Romans were the Americans, right? The time. Sure. It's like ISIL taking on the whole of America. That was it. So the Prophet died. Before the army could leave, the Prophet died. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And at the same time, Abu Bakr became Khalifa. Of course, when the Prophet died, Abu Bakr became Khalifa. And at the same time, there were great dangers were posed to the Islamic State in the form of that most of the tribes in the Arabian Peninsula refused to pay zakah and they were leaving the deen and so forth. There was a threat to Islam in Medina. So Sahaba came to the Nabi, to Abu Bakr and said, oh Abu Bakr, you can't send this army. This army contains the nobles of us, the best soldiers. And Medina needs this army to protect Medina. We are the only Muslims in the world. We need this army to protect this enclave of Islam. If we all die here, Islam will die. What do you think Abu Bakr said? Abu Bakr said, I must reverse a decision of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam impossible. Even if I should defend Medina alone and you all run away, I will defend Medina alone. But the decision of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam stands. This army will come. And he sent the army. Zayd was killed. Ja'far was killed. Abdullah ibn Rawah was killed, and of course we know that Khalid ibn Walid, he made a retreat to Medina, a successful retreat, because they couldn't beat the Roman army. They gave them a good army, but they couldn't beat it. The odds were too great against them. So, this was just an introduction to the mawaqif, or the stations, milestones that we find in the life of Abu Bakr Al Siddiq radiallahu anhu. There is a fifth mawqif, which I'm not going to do because we don't have time, and I want to do the other part, which is as important. And it links in well with the hadith. And I said, as I said last time when we met, for those of you who are not here, I'll give you just a brief introduction to what they call themselves the Qur'aniyun. These are people who, and maybe I should give a little bit of background, a little bit of history of this group of people. These people came to the fore at the time of colonialism, when in 1924 the Khilafat, Uthmaniyya Khilafat, the Ottoman Empire, crumbled and crashed and was defeated by the Europeans. And when this defeat came, it was a defeat on many fronts. Not only on the battlefield, it was also defeat in the ideas of Islam, in the culture of Islam, in the history of Islam. Everything was attacked. And one of the things that was attacked by the colonialists when they entered Muslim lands was to attack the hadith of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They already attacked their own Bible and said their own Bible was a lot of stories that was put together by this one and by that one, and there's no original Bible left. And they transferred, as they said to Muslims, you see, we criticize their own Bible and we say it's not the word of God. You also have all these sayings of the Prophet, and we feel there's a lot of doubt in that, so you should study that and you should maybe not make that part of your faith. And people like Taha Hussein in Egypt, and there were some in India and Pakistan, individuals who had then succumbed to this onslaught by the Europeans. They decided that, because you know what it's like. Even now you go to Arabia, what do you find? I spoke to a travel agent the other day. He was saying they went to see the Hajj people, the minister of Hajj, to get their quotas. And so the minister of Hajj said to them, that papers, of course, he had documents from South Africa to say every one of the travel agents had a document to say that he's a travel agent, and and so forth and so on. But there was one sentence there was one sentence absent from the letter, and that was that there was no confirmation. This was just among the travel agents. There was no confirmation from Saud that Saud actually, something to that effect. It was just a line. It was a line, two lines with a stamp that wasn't on. So you know what the minister said to them? Go back to South Africa and get the lines, get the stamp and come back. So they said, but you know, we are here. We have to travel, take a plane and go back and come back. I said, not my problem. Go back. That is the arrogance that the Saudis have. So I said to him, you know what you should do? Take a white man with you next time. Next time you go, see that you've got a white man amongst you. He laughed. And he said, you know, Sheikh, you're right. I said, I'm just joking. I don't mean it. But I said, that kind of colonialist mind, that mindset is still in the Middle East. So since 1924, it's still there. They haven't left it. So when it came to the ahadith, these made people like Taha said, I mentioned one of them, and I will mention the others later on. Now this was after how many years? 1,300 years. Not in 1,300 years did anybody question the authenticity and authority of the Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why is suddenly now in the 1920s people got bright ideas, or suddenly they thought, well, no, it wasn't that. So for 13th Muslims believed in the Sunnah of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam as being the second source of law, first being the Quran. And why do we believe that? Why do they believe that for 1300 years and even up to now? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Ahzab, which is the 33rd Surah, verse 36, وَمَنْ يَعْصِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ ضَلَّ ضَلَالًا بَعِيدًا Mubina. Allah says, and whosoever disobeys Allah and His Messenger has wandered off into manifest error. In total darkness, manifest error. And in also Surah Ahzab, 33rd Surah, verse 71, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ فَازَ فَوْزًا عَظِيمًا يَلِي الْخُطْبَةَ الْبِكَاءَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and he who obeys Allah and His Messenger, he has triumphed with a special and a splendid triumph. So this was what was known up to today. So when the Sunnah of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam hadith came, Muslims accepted it. And then when the colonialists came, they saw the hadith as an obstacle. But it wasn't the hadith that was an obstacle. And the second factor I think that helped them along was that in this age that we live, very few people are knowledgeable of the science of hadith. I mean, if you ask somebody what is hadith mawdu' or mursal, people won't know. These are very simple names of a hadith. Hadith which is mursal, meaning there is a gap between the sahabi and the tabi'i, and hadith which is mawdu', it's a hadith which we fabricated, completely fabricated. So, and there's the ilm al-rijal, science of the bibliographers. It's a science which I think if you studied your whole life, you will be able to know the whole of the science of a hadith of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So the colonialists saw their hadith as an obstacle to what? As an obstacle, as the only way. They saw it as the only route, the only road to attack the Quran. Because if you attack Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, if you throw some bad light on the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, obviously you touch the Quran. Why? Because both the Quran and the hadith was given to us by the same people. Quran came from where? Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Gave it to who? People like Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, Sahaba. Hadith came from where? Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. He gave it to who? Abu Bakr, Uthman, Ali, Aisha. Exactly the same line. So if you throw a bad light on the one, obviously you tinker with the other. But today, inshallah, last time we met, we answered the accusation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَا فَرَضْنَا فِي هَذَا الْقُرْآنِ مِنْ شَيْءٍ, that we have not left anything out of the Quran. So they say everything is in the Quran, now we answer that. Today, inshallah, we're going to answer the other allegation, that is, that they say, nowhere in the Quran does Allah command us to follow the hadith of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Listen, I want you to listen carefully. This is very, very important. Extremely important. Because your children will come ask you these questions. You have to answer them. Very important for yourself also. Extremely important. You have to take very careful note. Like I said on Friday, Jummah also, very, very important. This is extremely important. That's why I say bring a notebook with write it down. Or get the tape or get the CD and listen to it again after. Two things they say. They say one, the Quran doesn't say we must follow the hadith. Number two, they say that in fact the Quran cautions against hadith. In other words, what they say is the Quran says don't listen to hadith. Of course, what they do is they quote the Quran. First verse they quote is Surah Luqman, which is, I think, the 31st surah, or the 30th surah of the Quran, 31st surah of the Quran, verse number 6. If you bring, next week inshallah, I would think that you bring a Quran with or bring your iPad with your Quran on it. So, with your phone, I've got the Quran on my phone. Sure, you want to have the Quran on your phone, bring your phone. So when I say, look up Surah Luqman, verse 6, and you have it in front of you, so you can look at it. What is this? What is this verse? 31st Surah. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْتَرِي لَهْوَ الْحَدِيثِ لِيُضِلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ وَيَتَّخِذَهَا هُزُوًا أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ مُهِينٌ. This is words from who? Who said these words? Allah. What does Allah say? Allah says, I want you to listen and apply your mind. And of humankind, and of humanity, and of man, says Allah, are those who purchase hadith, frivolous hadith. Because Allah uses the word, مَا يَشْتَرِي لَهْوَ الْحَدِيثِ. Allah uses the word hadith. So they say, Allah says, and there are those of mankind who purchase frivolous hadith to mislead, لِيُضِلَّ عَنْ سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ. Now if somebody calls us to you to say, well, atheism, yeah, what's this? Allah says those who purchase hadith, they mislead mankind. You're ignorant, you don't know. He shows you the verse in the Quran. There's the word hadith. To mislead from the path of Allah. بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ, without knowledge. And to make a mockery of the Quran. So what do they say? They say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, there are people who purchase hadith in order to do what? To mislead mankind. Number two, without knowledge. And to make a mockery. وَيَتَّخِذَهَا هُزُوًا, to make a mockery. Allah says, أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ عَذَابٌ مُهِينٌ. Allah says, for them, there is a humiliating punishment and penalty from Allah. Now, if a person comes to and shows, because you already know the translation of the Quran, so he shows you the English Quran, he says, we people, we don't accept the Quran, we don't accept the Hadith, and the reason we don't accept Hadith is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, there are people who use Hadith to mislead people, and it's over and so on. So you don't understand Arabic, you read the English, and it tells you there's the word Hadith, which you can spell. It says it's Ha, Dal, Ya, Ta, there's it in the Quran, Hadith. Let's look at this first of all. Surah Luqman was revealed when? In which era, in which age? Was the Meccan Surah or Madani Surah? It was revealed in Makkah. Alright. I want you to listen carefully because it's very important that you get the argument right. Surah Luqman was revealed in Makkah. To who was it revealed? Who was in Makkah? Who was resident in Makkah? Who lived in Makkah? Correct. The colonialists? We lived in Makkah? No. The Hindus lived in Makkah? No. Buddhists lived in Makkah? No. Who lived in Makkah? The Quraysh. Did the Quraysh? So this was revealed to them. Prophet ﷺ narrated to them. Prophet ﷺ read this verse to who? To them. Of course, most of the Muslims are not. The Muslims are not. So what do we say here? If we then interpret this to mean what it means, we must say that, is it conceivable? Because this was revealed. What does Allah say? Oh, you mankind, you the Indian Makkah, oh mankind, you mankind. You purchase hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. You use the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ to do what is Allah? To mislead. Because it relates to them. To mislead without knowledge, and for you there's humiliating punishment. Does it make sense that the Quraysh would use the hadith of the Nabi ﷺ to fight the Quran? fighting the prophets of the Quran. No, they were interested in killing Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They were not interested in the Quran. They weren't interested in even listening to Quran. In fact, when the Quran was read, they used to tell the people, وَلْغُوا فِي. When you hear the Quran, لَا تَسْمَعُوا لِهَذَا الْقُرْآنِ وَلْغُوا فِي. They said, don't listen to the Quran. When the Quran is there, make a noise. So so what does hadith here mean then? The word hadith, maybe we should go back to the Quran. Let's go back to the Quran. Let's go to a surah that you all know, you all read. Surah Tawbah. No, not Surah Tawbah. Surah, what do we read on Friday? Surah Kahf. Go to Surah Kahf. Verse 6. Those are very reference. Verse 6. Because we need to get, this word hadith is very important. We need to get the grasp of the word hadith. What does it mean? So Allah uses the word hadith. You got it? Some of you have it? Yeah. What does Allah say? In verse 6? Anybody? Anybody want to read it? Give me the first word of the verse. Verse number 6, the first word only. فلعلك باخع نفسك على آثارهم إلا أن يؤمنوا بهذا الحديث أسفا. The word hadith is used, isn't it? Okay, translate. Have you got the translation here? Read the translation.
Perhaps you kill yourself.
Perhaps you kill yourself
over their footsteps.
Over their footsteps.
Because they believe not in this narration.
Because they believe not in this narration. The words for this narration is هذا الحديث. And what is this narration? The Quran. I will leave you to bring that in. What does hadith mean? What does hadith mean in this verse? Quran. هذا الحديث means this Quran. This hadith, this Quran. So, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word hadith, it refers to the Quran itself also. Why? Because the word hadith, lexically, the meaning of hadith in the language of Arabic, it either means a communication or a story or a conversation. That is hadith. So if I have a hadith with you, I have a conversation with you. That's the meaning of hadith. A new Muslim is called the person who has newly accepted Islam. The word hadith is also used there. You know, hadith has a lexical meaning and it has a meaning as we use it today. And I'm going to give an example of this. There are two meanings to it. The word salah, what does it mean? Salah, what does it mean? Salah means? Dua. No. Salah means? Dua. No. What does salah mean? Salah means to make salah. Salah means? For us, the technical meaning of salah, you're right also. But the technical meaning of salah has two meanings. The technical, I say the word salah means to make sujood and ruku and salah, and 4 rakahs, that's the word salah. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Tawbah, verse 103, to the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, خذ من أموالهم صدقة. خذ من أموالهم صدقة تطهرهم وتزكيهم بها. Allah says to the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, take from their wealth. Here the word sadaqah means zakah. Take from their wealth zakah, in order to purify them and to guide them. وَصَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ. Allah uses the word صَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ, and pray on them. Allah says to the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, pray on them. صَلِّ عَلَيْهِمْ, on them, pray on them. If I want to say to you, make salah, and I want to say, Salli, Salli, isn't it? The Asghari woke up and say, Salli, Salli, Salli. Salli means, doesn't mean to make dua, it doesn't say make dua, it says Salli means make salah. But here the word salah doesn't mean, as the brother said, doesn't mean to make salah, it means to make dua. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, make dua. So it doesn't mean when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses the word hadith in the Quran, it means hadith of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Why does it not? It can never be in the hadith. It can never refer to the hadith of Muhammad. Ever. Why not? Because the technical meaning of the word hadith only came into being 100 years after the death of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When the word hadith, it means conversation in ordinary language. It means communication in ordinary. When that ordinary word got a special technical meaning, and now the word hadith would only refer to the words of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala never used the word hadith to refer to the hadith of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Those who read the English translation of the Quran and only know the word hadith and doesn't know the hadith in its technical meaning, these are the mistakes that they make because they don't understand the language. I mean, the word fiqh, for example, the word fiqh. If you ask a person today, what does the word fiqh mean? He will say it means law, it means how to make salah, isn't it? How to make salah, it means that's fiqh. You go to a fiqh class, what do they teach you? They teach you how to make wudu. But that wasn't the original meaning of fiqh, and that is not the meaning Allah uses it in the Quran. Allah SWT uses the word fiqh in the Quran to mean what? لِيَتَفَقَّهُمْ فِي الدِّينِ. Allah used it in the meaning of correct understanding. So how did it come to mean what it means now? Because all language develops. I remember when I was in high school, I did physical science. Physical science was everything, a little hodgepodge, a little bit of everything. Today, if you tell a child, do you do physical science? You say, what is physical science? We do physics, yeah. We do trigonometry, we do chemistry. He doesn't understand what physical science is. So physical science has developed the words have developed into other meanings. So in Islam there is, for example, the word fiqh. Fiqh, in the language of the Arabs, actually meant initially, those people, fiqh meant the science of camels. That was the original meaning of it. So if a person was faqih in Makkah, in the time of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he was an expert in camels. In other words, his understanding of camels was of the highest. He was a master when it came to them. And the word fiqh and faqih then came to mean not understanding of camels only, but it came to mean the understanding of deen. That was the second tier, the second level. That's why when the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam got hold of Abdullah ibn Abbas in the masjid and pressed him and said, Allah faqihu fi deen, made dua for him, said, Allah give him knowledge of the deen, faqihu fi deen. He didn't mean give him knowledge of fiqh. He meant give him knowledge of the whole deen. So fiqh then meant in the time of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, knowledge of the whole of the deen. Fiqh meant knowledge of the whole, tawheed and everything. And eventually fiqh came to mean what? It came to mean the application of the intellect of man on the laws of the Quran and the Sunnah of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So people like Imam Shafi'i, Abu Hanifa and Ahmad ibn Hanbal, they applied their minds to the Quran and the Sunnah and they extracted the law from there. And what they extracted is called fiqh. Fiqh is the result of the application of the intellect, the mind of man, of the laws of Islam. And that is the meaning of it today. It is the house of fiqh is what man built. And the Sharia is everything to do with revelation. The Sharia is the Quran and the Sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As I said, both is revelation. وَمَا يَمْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, whatever Muhammad says, he doesn't say from himself, it is revelation from me. So the Quran and the Sunnah are the two branches of revelation which forms the Sharia. That is called the law which is unchangeable. Built on that is the house of fiqh, built by man, who extracted the laws from those two sources. So, what we see very clearly is that, maybe a last example, I have some time left. One small example, Surah Al-Sabah. This is not Sabah with an Ayn, this is Sabah with an Alif. Surah Sabah is the 34th Surah. And verse 19, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَجْعَلْنَاهُمْ أَحَادِيث. Again the word hadith is used. فَجْعَلْنَاهُمْ أَحَادِيث. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Sabah was a people who lived in Yemen thousands of years before the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes an example of them in the Surah Sabah by telling the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah destroyed them because they didn't want to listen to their prophets and to Allah. So Allah destroyed them with floods. Their dams burst and the floods came and they were destroyed. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and we made them a hadith. Now with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, we made them a hadith. This was thousands of years before the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Does this mean that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made the people of Sabah a hadith? No, it can't mean that. Impossible. Yeah, a hadith means story, a tale, a communication. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, we made what happened to the people of Sabah a story for you, a communication for you to reflect upon what happened at that time. So, by not understanding the word hadith, that was by not understanding the language of Arabic, because it's obviously they don't understand the language of Arabic. And I think the person who was in charge of these people here in Cape Town knew that I was going to give this talk to them, because I said I was. They had sent me a list of, in fact, all these ayat which I'm quoting to you now. So I know this is actually their belief. They can easily fool or convince someone who has no knowledge of Arabic. Easily fool. Number two, and we can see immediately that the arguments are based on mistranslations. Translations based on English translations. As I said, maybe I was misunderstood before, but I'm not condemning translations of the Holy Quran. If that's all you could read, you have no understanding of English, of Arabic, then that is good for you. But you should not make another religion out of it. That's kufr. You should read it for yourself only, for your own understanding. Don't get 10 people around you and say, come on, let's all read it now together, the English now. Because why? Because the English translation of the Quran, as I said, is not the Quran. It is also not a translation of the Quran. It is an interpretation of the Quran by one single human being. It's an interpretation by a human being who applies his feeble mind, the small little brain box that we have up here, to the Quran. So how can it ever be a translation of the Quran? They twist the words and they twist the Quran. That's why I said right at the beginning when I introduced this subject today was that this was the objective of the colonialists. The objective of the colonialists and the enemies of Islam, and I spoke about this on Friday, why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed so many verses on the Bani Israel, on the Christians and the Jews. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew that these attacks were going to come from their side. So the colonials, they're not interested in getting Muslims to foster these ideas amongst Muslims about hadith. That's not the objective. Not at all. It is to attack the Quran. This is a direct attack on the Quran itself. It's an open and direct attack on wahi from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when your children speak about it now, I see many of you have made notes, alhamdulillah, you should keep these notes, very important. And you should go home and check these verses which are given to you. Next week, inshallah, we will deal with the third argument. I'm using the big argument for last. The big argument is that a hadith was only written down 300 years after the death of the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, so it must be all nonsense. It must all be what? Somebody wrote it down, imagine 300 years, subhanAllah. How can you believe something which is written down 300 years after the person said it? And they say this. And Shaht says this. And Garad says this. All the Orientalists, all the non-Muslims, this is where those ideas come from. So the next item, inshallah, we're going to deal with this next week is that these people say the Quran, you know, they say, the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said. First they use the Quran, now they use the Hadith. They say the Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, do not write anything from me except the Quran. And remember, they don't accept Hadith. What do they say? They reject all Hadith, but here they quote the Hadith. Here they also use, they're confused they are. They're so confused that they say, well, we don't accept it. But now they say, what your Prophet said, you know, don't write on the Hadith. So now, their confusion becomes, that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about them, Allah describes them as a sea. And Allah describes them, those who mislead people, as darkness upon darkness. Darkness upon darkness. Waves of darkness upon darkness. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, keep us in the light and keep us focused. On what? On learning. On learning. Equipping ourselves with true knowledge of the hadith, of the ahadith, and Quran and the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the Quran and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Any questions? I will say to the ladies, I will, after the salah, I will come to you to, because somebody said that, you know, you don't get a chance to ask me questions. So I'll come after salah to you. Any questions you want to ask me, inshallah, you'll be free to ask me. So we'll give them a chance now to ask me. Or to make a comment. You can also ask questions about Ramadan, because it's Ramadan. Also, there's some few questions that I can answer it, inshallah. I will do so. Alaykum as-salam.
She was focusing on the importance of the Arabic language.
Yes.
Why Allah subhanahu revealed the Quran in Arabic.
Yes.
So why was it not possible for Allah to reveal the Quran in French and Spanish and have the same power of articulation? Why specifically Arabic? So what I'm saying is, are we limiting Allah by saying that only the Arabic language must fit with the revelation of the Quran?
Who made that decision? Who made the decision to reveal the Quran in Arabic? I didn't make it. We didn't make that decision. Did Allah consciously make that decision, or did He just that? What do you think? Let me answer. I'm going to answer your question. I first want to confirm that. Muhammad Sallallahu didn't make the decision to reveal the Quran in Arabic. Nor did you make the decision, nor did I. That decision was made by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a decision which we can't question. Let's go for it. We can't question the decisions of Allah. But the question is not, why did Allah not choose another another language to the world. The question is, why Arabic? Why did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala choose Arabic? Because there's no other language in the whole of the world since its beginning like Arabic language. It is the richest language in the known world today. It is also incorruptible language. It is also a language that can develop. It is also a language that is so rich that in one word can contain maybe 3, 4, or 5 ideas. One single word. No other language has that facility. If you say, for example, in English, you use a word in English, it will mean only one thing. For example, I always give the example of the word alaq, which is probably a long explanation. But there are many words. I'm not going to go into the details of it. But that is what I'm saying. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose the language. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew why I chose the language because of the richness of the language. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also knew that the language contained within itself not only the seeds of language, but the seeds of science, of geography, of oceanography, of those tools which man will need to develop himself as human beings, and the technology we have today. Where do you think it came from? It came from the Quran. The scientists that the world brought, the first scientists came onto the surface of the planet were Muslims. Where did they get the inspiration from? They got it from the Quran. So there's a specific reason for those who know the Arabic language, why Allah chose the Arabic language. And if you go on Google and YouTube, you will find that non-Muslims who have studied Arabic come to the same conclusions.
The Quran says, "Inna anzalnahu Qur'anan Arabiyyan la'allakum ta'qilun." Because this is, I'm checking with the
Yes, Allah Ta'ala says that we have revealed the book in many verses. Allah Ta'ala says that we have revealed this book in Arabic. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. So that you may 23 times Allah mentions the word ta'qilun. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَعْقِلُونَ. 23 times Allah says, so that you may expand your knowledge by applying your mind to the Quran in Arabic. To the Quran in Arabic. And if the Quran will come in French, if Allah revealed the Quran in French, or Allah revealed the Quran in English, we would still have had to study French to understand the Quran. And the Quran had to be revealed in English, then a French man also had to study English to be able to understand the Quran. So we cannot escape the fact that we have to learn Arabic to understand the Quran. Because the Quran is revealed in English, what do we have to do? Learn English. If the Quran is revealed in French, what do we have to do? Learn Arabic? No, we have to learn French. Allah SWT revealed it in Arabic. So what must we do? We must learn the Arabic language, otherwise we won't understand it. Simple. Simple. But what do we do? What do we do? The Quran is revealed in Arabic. We read it in English and in French and not in Arabic. We see the contradictions in the living. So therefore, it is time that we say to ourselves, Arabic is our language. It's the language of the Quran. It is the language of the Jannah. We should make effort to learn the language. The shortcut is to go through English, and this is where we learn ourselves. We become kufr in the process. Why? Because we are ignoring what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says. That you will only understand, أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ, you will only understand this book if you learn the language of the book, which is the Arabic language. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. شكرا.